This is the Mistress Carrie Situation Report for August 31st, 2023. Your daily entertainment headlines, industry info, and everything rock. Tool frontman Maynard Keenan is opening a new winemaking facility on the site of a former Masonic lodge in Cottonwood, Arizona. Keenan and the team behind Caduceus Cellars and Merkin Vineyards will open the facility coming up on October 6th. The complex will feature 270-degree views of the Verde Valley and include the Merkin Vineyards Hilltop Winery and Trattoria Restaurant, the Caduceus Cellars Hilltop Facility, and the VSC Ventura Room. It's the culmination of 20 years of work by Keenan, who founded Caduceus Cellars back in 2004. Saying, quote, "In the many years I've been working towards this moment, one of the things I've discovered when it comes to bridging the hurdle of exposing people to Arizona wine is context. So by putting a place like this in the middle of Cottonwood with 5 acres of vines to winery facilities with full greenhouses and a full kitchen, all the context becomes visible and you kind of break down the barriers of whatever preconceptions you have of Arizona wine." Taking Back Sunday have announced their new album, 152, marking the band's first studio full-length album in 7 years. Set for release on October 27th, the latest single, Sold, is out now. The album spans 10 tracks and was produced by Tusher Apte. In a statement, the band said, "Our hope is that you're able to find a little bit of yourself in this new collection of songs because you're not alone and neither are we." Flat Black, the new band from former Five Finger Death Punch guitarist Jason Hook, has tapped Corey Taylor for a guest spot on the upcoming debut album. The cameo comes as part of a longtime friendship between Hook and Taylor, which resulted in the pair penning several songs together. Jason Hook said, quote, "I developed a friendship with Corey back in 2020. He and I wrote 5 songs together, and when it came time to put Flat Black and the record together, I asked Corey, would it be okay if I used one of those songs? Corey is on the record. He's the only guest on the record." He went on to say he crushed it. He did this song called Nothing to Some, and it's just 100% unapologetic Corey Taylor. Speaking of the Taylor family, Vended has announced a new round of headlining U.S. dates this fall. The shows will take place in and around the band's fall tour with Bullet for My Valentine and Of Mice and Men. Vended features the sons of Corey Taylor and his Slipknot band member, Clown. Jay-Z is back, both online and with new music on the way. The 53-year-old rapper returned to Instagram on Tuesday at Jay-Z. While few details have been announced, the official release for the upcoming film, The Book of Clarence, confirmed that he is contributing to the soundtrack. Jay-Z is also among producers of the film about a down-on-his-luck man living in Jerusalem who tries to capitalize on the rising influence of the Messiah. The film is set to hit theaters on January 12th. On August 29th, We Came as Romans launched their Australian tour in Adelaide. The next morning, an alleged thief entered the guitarist's hotel room, stole some of his possessions, and ultimately jumped from the room's 5th-floor window, and he survived the fall. The 37-year-old alleged thief walked into Moore's room, barricaded himself, and locked the guitarist out, nabbed some of his personal items before fleeing out the window. After he landed on the ground below, the man who survived the fall called emergency services and received on-site treatment by paramedics, who then loaded him into an ambulance, took him to a nearby hospital where he was described to have serious injuries. Disturbed were recently honored with the key to the city in their old stomping grounds in Chicago. More specifically, the band were honored in the Chicago suburb of Tinley Park. The mayor, Michael Glotz, was in attendance to present the band with the honor, the group themselves sharing photos online. The band sang the ties to the Credit Union 1 amphitheater extend back decades, back to when the venue was named the Tweeter Center back in 2001. Ghosts have released a lengthy statement explaining the last-minute cancellation of the band's concert on Tuesday night at the CCNB Amphitheater at Heritage Park in Simpsonville, South Carolina. The show was called off shortly after it was announced that the band had canceled 2 shows in Florida as Hurricane Idalia barreled towards the state's Gulf Coast. The band sang in part in an online statement, "When our trucks and buses arrived yesterday morning, there was already a concern about the weather forecast as the stage has a very small roof and nothing covering the sides. Our main goal is always for our fans to have a great experience. We were assured the weather would be fine later in the day, so we pressed ahead with all of the show setups and preparations." Unlike CCNB, most outdoor concert venues have a large roof over the stage to safeguard the sound and lighting equipment from inclement weather, as well as a roof over the audience to protect our fans. Yesterday, we were all subject to no cover and the bad weather. Steel Panther failed to make it through to the top 10 of season 18 of America's Got Talent. Last night, Steel Panther released the following statement via social media: "Huge thanks to all of the fans who voted for us on America's Got Talent. It wasn't in the cards this time, but don't you worry. Like a bad case of herpes, you can't get rid of us that easily." The battle rages on, and we will never stop flying the banner of heavy metal. #Heavy Metal Rules. And Duran Duran announced they'll release a new album called Dance Macabre on October 27th, saying, quote, "The idea was born out of a show we played in Vegas on October 31st, 2022. We had decided to seize the moment to create a unique, special event. The temptation of using glorious gothic visuals set to a dark soundtrack of horror and humor was simply irresistible." The 13-song album is available for pre-order. You can check out the track listing online, which includes an update of a rare B-side and fan favorite, Secret October. And that's your sit rep. For more details on all of the stories, check the links in the show notes of this episode. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie Podcast. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. Episode 169, featuring Ben Bruce from Asking Alexandria, is available now. And check out this week's bonus episode featuring Jeff Keith from Tesla.